This week in the subreddit.
There's nothing going on in the subreddit this week.
There's no news in the subreddit.
Come on, Microsoft, drop some more hints of what's coming at E3, please.
Xbox on.
Game on, baby.
Wow!
Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. It's the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit, and I'm joined this week by everyone's favourite uncle. It's Uncle Jessy.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, and no one else. It's just
That's
a
right.
terrible twosome. So, will we just start swearing now that Reese isn't here to...
That's right. Since he's, typically it's we go off the rails when you're not here, guiding us along the ways. But since Reese isn't here, technically, I think we can do whatever we want to do. So, we might just end up talking about the Nintendo Switch this whole episode.
I very much doubt I'm going to do that.
I know you won't.
Short episode.
I could. I seriously could.
Well, traditionally we start with what we've been playing. So, Clay, take it away.
Yeah, I really haven't been playing any Xbox for the first time in a long time. I am playing the Nintendo Switch, playing Zelda, and very much addicted to it and loving the living daylights out of it. This is the first Nintendo console I've picked up since the N64 days, so... never got into GameCube, never cared about Wii and motion controls and all that other stuff, even though I've played it a few times at parties, but that was about it. Never cared about the Wii U. This, though, a portable gaming device that is a legit portable gaming device that I can get behind, I for sure pick that up. So I'm loving that. How about you, Ross? What are you playing, man?
So, Ghost Recon Wildlands released yesterday.
You picked that up. Did you pick it up?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, got it. So, I'm a few hours in. Basically, myself and my squad are the A-team.
Nice.
We made our characters look as mostly like the A-team as what we could, but with 11 faces to pick from, it was a little bit harder. Yeah, Ubisoft, you need to get your player creation a little bit sorted.
That's how the Division was. The Division only had like a handful of face models to work with. So
I think we're spoiled with like Fallout and like the FIFA and WWE 2K games and all. Are you playing Zelda?
No, that's my doorbell.
All right.
I've got a digital doorbell for anybody that doesn't know. So anytime someone walks up to my house, I have a chime thing in my office, so I can get an alert on my phone as well as I hear the ring go off. So it's a nice visual doorbell that I can.
I genuinely thought you were just going to be like podcasting while playing Zelda on a handheld.
It crossed my mind. I was like, I wonder how long I can get away and he won't notice that I'm actually just not paying attention, just playing.
They talk about podcast fatigue at about 40 episodes. That would be proper.
So sorry to cut you off, Ross, but this is hard to believe it's the 45th episode, though.
I know. 45 episodes, and people can still understand what I'm saying in North America.
I still don't understand what you're saying half the time. So you were saying talk to me about Wildlands. How are you liking that? Your A-team. So setting up your A-team.
Yep, so the A-team are not much like an A-team. We are very much maybe an F-team at the moment.
I was going to say the B or the C team. It's the F-team.
So to explain what we've done so far, we've done the same missions that we've done in the beta, the first few missions. But that also, in between the missions, we had a tractor race.
Oh, okay.
So we stole a couple of tractors and decided we're going to race them up a mountain. We spent 15 minutes trying to get to a marker point by climbing a mountain. and couldn't get up the mountain, so had to drive round the whole way because the climbing function isn't great. It's like Skyrim climbing, if you remember that. And then I discovered while flying a helicopter. And in the game, if you press up on the D-pad, you throw like a drone. So you can go off and mark enemies, and it's a really, really good mechanic. You know, you can fly in, try not to get spotted, marking all the enemies, working out what route to take. But if you're in a helicopter or flying near a helicopter, you can put the drone up through the blade, so the helicopter just explodes.
Okay.
So while the rest of my team, while the rest of my team were in their helicopter, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to drive there. I flew my drone up and demolished them.
So needless to say, there's a lot of wacky fun that you can have in the game.
Yeah, basically at the moment, all I've done is goof around, trying to learn the mechanics a little bit better, doing a few missions. I can't wait to actually get some proper hands-on time with the game, because this really feels like the game that I've been needing recently, just to draw me away from all my usual sort of playing and while everyone else is off and having fun and Zelda or playing Halo Wars 2. I can see me spending a lot of hours in Bolivia and just, messing about, Bolivia. Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
When I play a game, I get involved, Clay.
I know. I know. You get a little borderline obsessive with some of these games. So we might have to send a search party in the game to get you out of there, I think, at some point, out of Bolivia. How is the game compared to the beta? I thought I had heard you had mentioned there are not a lot of options for the character models, but I thought I had heard that they were going to have like twice as many outfit options for you to
there was
sort
a lot.
Of customize.
There was a lot of like customization on the clothes aspect, but I suppose for me, I was trying to go for a particular type of clothes, so to make him look like Hannibal. So anyone that wants to make an A-team, you can you can get yourself a cigar, by the way. So
ooh, excellent.
Go ahead and get that. How can I put it? There is a lot of stuff to pick from. Like every character that I've seen or played with, even when not playing with my squad, they all did look different. So you can see that the customization and the clothes is there, and you don't really see the faces up close, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. The driving's still terrible. Some of the glitches in that game are ridiculous. Like, you think Ubisoft did their own driving game in The Crew? Like, have they not learned anything?
Clearly, they have not at all. you would have thought that they would have figured something out with that by now. But yeah, even in the beta, that was pretty bad, laughably bad, along with some of the glitches. And I've heard there's still a ton of really funny glitches in that game. But I'm still interested in getting it just because of everything that you were saying you and your buddies were doing, is just going in there and doing some wacky stuff and having a lot of fun with it. It was a very party oriented game where I don't think I'd ever play that run through solo. I would always be playing in multiplayer sessions, partying up with people and doing random things.
Yeah, and one thing that has sort of grabbed my attention is the progression, in the sense where every gun has multiple parts and all those parts are fully customizable. So I feel as if through time I'm really going to build a weapon that plays to my strengths. So it will grab me out and give me a reason to return to it for a long time, not just for the laughs, but I feel as if I'm getting something out of going to an area or investigating it, looking for weapon parts. I'm always impressed with Ubisoft because they try these things, they try these different ideas for games, and you can essentially see them taking parts out of Far Cry and taking parts out of Division, where it borrows heavily. But one of the most interesting mechanics in that whole game, and something that I hope they stick with, is it's a third-person game. It's a third-person shooter with cover, but when you hold down the left trigger, you look down the sights first person.
Right.
That is great.
That was nice.
Yeah, it works so well, and you after a while you don't even notice it, but without it the game wouldn't be anywhere near as good. It gives you that accuracy with the same feeling of scale that you get with the third person, and the sort of sense of being aware of your surroundings, and it works really, really well in the game, and they've hit the nail on the head with that.
Nice.
So yeah, well, I think I'm certainly going to get my money's worth out of the game. You know, I'm going to get a lot of hours out of it, and anyone that wants to play, I'd be quite happy to play along with them, but just don't expect me to do any proper missions.
Would never expect that from you. So,
will we find out what's been happening in the subreddit, Clay?
Yeah, let's go in and take a look at what's going on the sub.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. This week in the subreddit.
This week in the subreddit.
There's nothing going on in the subreddit this week.
There's no news in the subreddit.
Come on, Microsoft, drop some more hints of what's coming at E3, please.
So, basically, we looked through the subreddit, and there isn't a lot to talk about.
No. There is. There's plenty to talk about. We can talk about old people, penises, and computer mouse icons.
Well,
That's
I'll show you all three are related stories. Let's start with old people, Clay. Take it away.
Yeah, user Outrageous posted a photo of an 81-year-old gentleman who purchased his first Xbox to play Farming Simulator, and apparently a lot of people were pretty pleased with that and pretty excited to see someone getting into gaming so late in life and picking up their first Xbox One, or first Xbox, I should say. Or even, it was the first gaming system, not just Xbox in general. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I thought it was really interesting. Apparently 21,000 other subscribers also thought it was very interesting and gave it the big thumbs up there. Actually, I think that was one of the... was going to see how that ranked in terms of all time. Yeah, I was going to say that is the number 2 most all time voted for submission here on the subreddit, and it was just submitted 2 days ago. Higher than the Red Dead Redemption backwards compatible announcement, and right under the Target Red Ring of Death photo that someone posted a few months back. So.
I just want to know, like, what did they say to the guy when they were taking the picture? So there's a picture of him looking very, very happy with himself, you know, on the subreddit. And for a start, he's holding an Xbox and it comes with Battlefield 1. Like, that could give him nightmares. To be honest, I was going to say, I'm like, I wonder what he did with Battlefield 1. And, I mean, does he hopefully has an HDMI TV and not an old CRT television that he's not able to play this on. So, yeah, could be pretty interesting if he jumps in there and starts playing with some of these other gamers as well on Xbox Live. Could be pretty fun. Did you see that Major Nelson also commented on it and was like, "Oh, I wonder what his gamer tag is," and about 1 million people replied with different variations of what they think it might be. As my favourite of that was, "You kids get off my LAN." Yeah. So yeah, Reddit. As usual, you've done everyone proud. I hope he's happy and he's enjoying his I hope he is too. I hope when I'm 81 years old, I'm still playing video games and picking up, consoles. My father-in-law is 66 and he's gamed all his life. Well, not all his life, obviously, but he's as long as I've known him, he's always gamed. He's currently playing through World at War. Oh, nice. That's where my wife gets it from. They've always sort of been into video games. And the weekend there, I was at a gaming festival in my hometown of Glasgow, and they had like old consoles like Atari, and my wife was telling me, my dad had that console and he had that console and he had this console. It's like, well, there is this older generation of people that just love playing games, and maybe because they're not as active on social media or Reddit or anything else that we don't see them, but they certainly do exist.
Yeah.
But maybe we should
Clearly.
let this guy know that there's tractors in Ghost Recon Wildlands as well. He can drive a tractor and drive me along to the next mission, I think. But that was a really, really nice story. What else has happened this week?
Let's see. I think the other story that I was interested in chatting in was, I apologize, didn't grab the poster's name, but it was sort of not announced, so to speak, but discussed that for Conan Exiles, when it comes to Xbox One, the option for, this goes back to what you were saying about user profile customization, there will not be included the endowment slider option on the Xbox One.
So I don't understand what that means. So
Well endowed.
would you care to explain?
I could make a short tort man or a tripod-ish type gentleman to battle through the wastelands of Conan Exiles.
So I also learned this week that they're not going to have hitboxes
Oh, really?
on the penis. Yeah, so it
Oh.
won't react if you hit it.
But yeah, so it sounds like they'll have partial nudity in there, no beans and franks, but apparently they'll be able to include the I don't know. Sorry, it's a goofy day for me. I was going to say they have the ladies' top half. They're able to include, trying to keep this somewhat family friendly, and but nothing for the lower nether regions. They have to include some loincloths options. So, you know what? There was, correct me if I'm wrong, GTA 5 had like, you could stumble upon homeless people in the buff, in the nude.
I don't think so. No, was it not
Yeah.
Watch Dogs had? I didn't know that. I never noticed that, Clay. I don't go looking for homeless people in my video games. I think in Watch Dogs there was genitalia of some sorts, and it was quickly patched out. But
Yeah.
also this week, Xbox UK congratulates Nintendo on the launch of the Switch, and that was posted by Falconbox, who's been on this very podcast. Now, Clay, you've picked up the Switch. I haven't. I know Reese has. But one of the things that I really, really wanted to talk to you about, as this is an Xbox podcast, you're not talking for half an hour about Zelda, as I know you want to.
Talk about it.
as-
I based on your suggestion earlier, I went and grabbed it, and I'm just sitting here playing it while you're
That
blabbering
explains
on.
this podcast. But anyway, like, what would you do if Xbox were to release a handheld? Like,
man.
how powerful would you make it? What would you do with it? How would it sit?
I would love that. I would so love that. I mean, even it. I'm at a point right now where I would, even if it was 360 caliber games, like the Nintendo Switch, the games apparently, you know, they're not super high def, they're not crazy visually, or at least we're anticipating they're not going to be. So maybe the hardware isn't everything that, you know, doesn't need some souped up piece of hardware to run this on like we used to see, or whatever that means that I was just saying there. But I would see, even if I could get a 360, a handheld version of a 360 that I could bring with me on my business trips, I would so love this. I'm at a point where even if I could in my house better stream my Xbox One to my phone and have a controller hooked up to my phone to be able to play, I would totally do that. At some point, I think I might have to break down and get a what's it called, a Microsoft Surface to be able to do that. Ditch my iPad and go that route. But I would love to have more options than just sitting in front of a TV. Or, I mean, I travel so much for work. And the whole reason why I got an Xbox One S was because it was a good bit smaller than the original Xbox, and I could actually travel with it. But it's still a bit of a pain to pack and lug around and take out when I go through security and get set up when I get to the hotel and try and get it connected to the internet, which half the time I have a hard time getting connected. And just having a mobile option that I especially can play on airplanes would be so nice. It's so nice. I was just playing the Switch at my hotel in the bar, having a beer, playing the Switch for like, I don't know, an hour and a half, and it was great. It was great. I would love to be able to do that with Xbox.
I'm quite jealous of that, to be honest with you. Like, there's a wrestler called AJ Styles, and he travels with an Xbox 360 setup.
Oh, really?
It's not like handheld, but it's almost like a sort of laptop type thing that he travels with.
Yeah.
And it's an Xbox 360, and he posts pictures of it, and it was stolen once actually, but it looks quite cool.
I was actually debating on getting the Vanguard. Have you seen those? It looks like a briefcase. You open up the briefcase, and it's got a monitor, and you can hook up your Xbox in it, or your PlayStation, or whatever console you want to throw in there. And it's basically a big carrying case that you can bring around, and then you hook up to an outlet, and you have power for the monitor to game on. I mean,
see, even all that, like, it sounds great, but when you've got something like the Switch, you know, we just want a handheld, don't we? You know, they're talking about play anywhere. Well, I want to play anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere I can.
It's funny how even I was debating on. I had pre-ordered the Switch, and during my pre-order time frame before I picked it up, I was still debating on: do I really need this? Am I really going to play this? I don't really play a lot of Nintendo games, like the kid-oriented games. Even though I have kids now, and I'm sure I pick more up and get some good use out of it. I just didn't think if it was it going to be gimmicky. Was I really going to use it? And I have so not regretted purchasing it. And it's great. I mean, I'm playing it in bed while my wife was watching horrible reality TV shows. Got the headphones in. I'm just gaming away. It's great. It's great. It's called quality loving time at the Parker household. Horrible reality TV show and me playing video games. So.
So if anyone from Microsoft's listening, we want that opportunity. If you don't give me it, I'm going to buy a Switch.
I will tell you what, Microsoft, if anybody's listening, I will help you design it. Not that I have any experience in designing anything like that, but I would. I would gladly assist in some way that I don't know how I would. But
just
throwing it out there.
Just being clear.
Yeah, just being clear.
Also, coming out in the news this week is the fact that Mass Effect Andromeda, I can never say that, Andromeda. There's a few bits of news coming out for that. So the EA Access trial will be limited to one section from one planet, I believe, or one planet of such. You'll have your normal 10-hour trial, as well as almost unlimited multiplayer for that trial.
I didn't quite understand that. Did they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds like it's just the 10 hours, but you can just play as much as the 10 hour limited to. I mean, what they've done in the past is the multiplayer and single player. That's all, however you want to play it, that's your 10 hours. So I can play all 10 hours in multiplayer. I can spend all 10 hours in single player and go as far as they allow me to go. And thinking of some of the other games that they've put out through this program, but it sounds like they're switching it up a little bit here, which is interesting.
Well, they've done this before. If you remember when Battlefield Hardline released, you only got the first mission,
right?
But the multiplayer was fully unlocked. So it seems to be similar to that the multiplayer section of the game will be unlocked right from the beginning, but you only have a certain proportion of the single player story to play through. And you can understand why they do that. Now, what I'm wondering in the future, which would be great value for EA Access, is people that have even pre-ordered the game only get that first section until the game is officially released. You know, if that EA Access trial, the 10 hours, and if you could unlock the full game if you'd pre-ordered it, like what they do with the Ultimate Editions and things like that, that would be a great benefit for people not only subscribing to EA Access, but also maybe taking the plunge to just pre-order the game while they're doing it, because they want to continue it right there and then.
Right. Yeah, especially if they're really into it. So, I mean, I know a lot of people were super into Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. I remember playing a good bit of that and being fun. I just don't remember a whole hell of a lot about it. But it sounds like, you know, if it's anything remotely like that, I would be on board for it. I still haven't pre-ordered this game. I'm more than likely going to pick it up. I just don't know if it's a day. It should be a day one for me. It's just I've got so many friggin' games. Actually, going back to the 81-year-old, I can't wait till I'm 81 so I can play my entire back catalog of games and then more than likely, you know, expire and go on to the next stage in life.
Well, like, I'm not interested in Mass Effect. I've not made any secret of that the whole way through, but I have EA Access. I will want to give it a try, probably. So, you know, I might end up on board with it after I give these EA Access a trial. And just again, EA Access, the best value in gaming until Games Pass comes along. Now, in the opposite end of the spectrum from the older gentleman we talked about earlier, user, is it Vaturn, posted that he's playing Halo Centenary Edition on the Master Chief Collection for the very first time at age 22, and he is in awe at how well the game has aged. And I wondered, Clay, is there any games that you never played the first time round that have came to backwards compatibility or a remaster of such that you've just blown you away?
Not. You'd think. I feel like I'm a collector of backward compatible games at this point, especially the games with gold titles that I have yet to get around to playing. I would say there is one game series that I will sort of expand on what you were asking that I have never played that I should try playing sometime, and that is the Assassin's Creed game series. Don't think I've ever played any of those games, even though I think Black Flag was the first games with gold game, and I was like all excited. I'm going to play this. It's going to be awesome, and I never played it. So,
Assassin's Creed 2, absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag, absolutely loved. The rest of it, all right. Yeah.
I heard rumors that they might be doing like a samurai one, which would be friggin' cool. I would definitely consider looking into maybe picking that up.
It became For Honor.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Like, for me, just to answer my own question, I'd never played Red Dead, and I said to you, like, that I couldn't believe that game was as old as it was.
It's pretty old at this point.
Yeah, like,
in
it didn't feel... It looked good. The story was great. It played well. The mechanics, there wasn't any clunkiness that I felt. So, you know, for me, I would probably have to say that Red Dead was there. Now, it's not as old as what this gentleman is in playing Master Chief Collection for the first time, age 22. What have you done with your life? But, yeah, it's great.
Can we call this the Trainwreck episode?
Yeah.
Listeners, beware. Listen at your own peril. See, I survived episode 45 t-shirts.
I survived episode 45. So, Clay, something that I've been wanting to talk to you about for a long time. Has your laugh ever got you into as much trouble, or has anyone made you aware about how annoying it is?
Yes, very, very much so. All the time. I sound like Santa Claus when I laugh, or so I've been told. Or actually, the one time I almost got thrown out of a bar where people are notoriously loud because I was talking and laughing too loud. They said I needed to tone it down, or they were going to have to ask me to leave. My wife brings that up to this day as something.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're still married.
Yeah, I know. It gets old quick on this end, folks.
Well, as we stated, this is a shorter than usual episode, as quite frankly, there isn't a lot of news for us to talk about. But we'll be back with episode 46 with Clay, and hopefully Reese will return. So for another week, Xbox turn off.
Turn off Xbox, please.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
It's settled. Let's do this.
Right, I'll have an edit with it tomorrow night and then we'll decide. But I think we'll only get 20 minutes out of that.
Maybe it'll just be a quick one.
Unless you can think of another subject to talk about.
Nope. This is great. This is great. No stories for Ross and I to talk about with all of you, or for me to make a song into.